I guess we'll just go ahead and start. It's 8:02. Hi,
Okay.
everyone. I'm Dustin McFarland, and I'm going to be joined with Elisa. She's going to go over some retail stuff at kind of towards the end, and Ann Valentine, one of the owners of Artigo USA. So I thought we would just really talk about like the importance of holiday business building and really try and give you some tips for promoting your business and keeping it going during the holidays. I don't know about everyone else, but with myself, I feel like clients are very loyal during this time. And then after the first of the year is when they may decide to find another hairdresser or try someone new or someone less expensive. So I think it's really important to really try and perform to the highest level during this time of year and you know, keep things moving and help retain those clients, past the first of the year. So a few things that I think are really important to do. I know everyone gets in a really big hurry. You're trying to pack people in, is really to go through like a thorough consultation, sit down with your clients, spend that extra few minutes and, sit there and ask them, are you happy with your hair? Is there anything you would like to change? And kind of go through all of that. And I know everyone's on this like time, restraint because we are so busy, but I think there's a few things that you can do to really switch things up, make them feel happy and brighter for the holiday season and make them feel special. Beth kind of went over some things in her Zoom last week, which you guys can all watch. It's uploaded to YouTube. But, some little things like a few highlights around the hairline, a few little low lights, just those little extra things to keep things interested. And honestly, I probably this time of year wouldn't charge extra for it. I would just kind of throw that in as like a Merry Christmas. Let's just add these few foils to brighten things up. And there's some great products from Artigo that you can use that aren't going to require a lot of extra steps, like extra toning, extra glossing, like blonding cream, neutral or the Aerosay are super great just for those few highlights around the hairline. You can go a few foils back and one or two on either side of the part. And they're going to feel extra special and they're going to lighten, 1.5 to 2 levels on tone. And you're not going to have to spend that extra 20, 30 minutes, doing a gloss or a glaze over those highlights because they are going to be on tone. And like I said, I think that makes the people feel special and like you're giving them this little added service. And it's going to take you maybe 10 more minutes during your application time just to do those little things. Um, let's see here. I do think it's important, and I can't stress it enough, to really keep things evolving in the color business with your clients. This is the day and age when, Beth talked about it on her Facebook. L'Oreal just came out with a color application device with cartridges, and literally there's an 800 number on the back that you can have a Zoom call with and they will help you match your color and directly ship you the device with the cartridge to match your current color for a retouch. And that's why I think doing those little things like those added highlights or lowlights, that's something they're not going to be able to do at home. And I think right now the economy is very strange, and there's people that are kind of buckling down on their budget and may consider, doing their root touch up at home. And these are things that'll kind of prevent them from doing it because chances are they are going to have an accident or they have highlights and they're going to use this device to color their roots and it's going to completely obliterate all of their highlights. So they're going to be back in your chair getting highlights and probably a little bit of corrective color in that situation. So I do think that, really, really, I can't stress enough making sure that you're keeping that, their hair color evolving. I've talked to a few hairdressers and it's interesting to me because they'll have clients come in and I had a hairdresser tell me, well, I use 6N and I've been using it for the last 20 years as a retouch and it's changing. Well, why is this? And I said, well, no one's hair is going to stay the same for 20 years. The person's going to get more gray. That means the color is going to become more translucent. And honestly, to me, it was a little shocking being a colorist because I feel like every time I have a client sit in the chair, I kind of look over their hair and it may have faded out more brassy. So I'm going to do a cooler gloss. It may have gotten a little dark on the hairline. So I'm going to lighten up their hairline color, which is something I do with all of my retouches. If I'm doing, 6N back here, I will always do a 7N around their face and brush it on. And I've had people go, oh my God, isn't it a way different color? And honestly, it's maybe half a shade lighter, but the regrowth grows out so much softer when they have their hair pulled back. And it's one of those things like, hey, they cannot do that at home. Um, they go buy a box of 6N and put it on, and it's going to be all 6N. And, they're not going to have that lighter, brighter face frame that you can give them in, 30 seconds by mixing up 5 grams of color in another bowl, and putting it around their hairline. Um, I also think it's really important. I just notice in the salon because we are busy sometimes. The services can become a little rushed and unprofessional. And I also think this is the time of year when you really need to, keep things ultra professional, the consultation, offer your clients a beverage, just really make them feel comfortable, not just slop color on, set them aside, and go to the next one and slop color on and give them a half-assed blow dry because you're in a hurry. I mean, nobody feels great about that. And I feel like those are the things that then lead them January 1st. Oh, I'm going to find another hairdresser. I didn't feel special in the salon during Christmas. And I had all these things. And, the expectation is definitely a lot, higher during the holidays than probably the rest of the year. Um, Another thing that you can get from Artigo, and I don't have them in front of me, is there's little 2-ounce samples of like Hydra shampoo and hydrating milk and the Rain Dance oil. And, the investment is very minimal to buy a case of them, 20, 30 of them, and put them together in a little sachet with just a little card that says, thank you so much for your business. Looking forward to seeing you next year, and giving them to your client as they're leaving. Because one, that makes them feel special and, like you put in some extra thought for them, along with that exposes them to new retail products that they may or may not be using. Um, and they just love it and they can throw them in their travel bag and have something new to try. And, I will have to say that I do think that it tremendously increases the retail sales on top of it, during the holiday season, which is added revenue. Let's see. Um, Also, too, I think another thing is like some kind of referral system during the holiday. Everyone's trying to get their friends in. So, I mean, the way we do it in the salon, especially with people that aren't as busy, I'm not a big believer in discounting a service. I think it kind of undermines, our professionalism, and, you do what you're going to do or what works for you. But I have an assistant starting, and I told her, I said, look, you get someone new in the chair, hand them 3 business cards and tell them, hey, if you refer me 3 people, I'll do your service for free. And I know a lot of people freak out and go, oh, I'm not doing a free service. Well, we've done that with everybody in the salon. There's 13 younger stylists here. And I'll say out of all of those people, they've maybe had to do one service, and it's usually a haircut for free. But the amount of clients that they have gotten overall has been tremendous because people can send you 1 or 2, but rarely is somebody going to be able to get you 3. And honestly, at that point, it'd be like giving them a 30% discount if you added it up on their color service. So, if somebody sends me 3 really good clients that rebook, hey, it's worth it to do their root touch up for free. It's kind of like their, reward for, being a loyal client and sending me new clients. Um, I also think that trying to keep things really professional in retail, I think that's huge in the salon, statistically, and Elisa would probably know the exact statistics. But I believe if it's you can sell two retail products to your client, the client retention is like 95% over someone that you're not retailing product. And I always kind of laugh about that because in our industry, they're buying shampoo somewhere. Everybody washes their hair, everybody conditions their hair. So it's not like something that they're not doing. Just like a haircut client may not be coloring their hair, but I can guarantee you they're washing it some way, somehow, Pantene, whatever. They were applying shampoo and conditioner to their hair. So, I think that's another thing to really work on this time of year is just suggest, or I tell our stylists, like, hey, if you're doing a blow dry and styling somebody, literally physically set the products in front of the client and spend the 30 seconds to go. This is why I'm using Flex Mousse on your hair. It's a great product. It has multiple uses. It acts as a thermal protectant. It'll help hold their shape when you blow dry. It'll act as a smoothing agent. And then they see the value in the product. And most of the time, you don't even have to convince them to buy it. At the end of the service, they're like, hey, I would like to get that product. Or, oh, that oil smelled really good. Can I buy some? And right there, especially with like Artigo, or if you guys are selling VA, so they're not available online. And I have heard a couple of people say, oh, we found Artigo online on Amazon. Well, I went on there and one of two things. It's a random piece here or there. And there was Leaders of Good Society that were $130, which is ridiculous. And the other sellers are in Europe. And 90% of the time, if you order something like that, you're not even going to get it. Um, so that fear is something that people shouldn't really think about. And almost all lines are available online, period. I mean, we've even gone through this in a conversation with people about hair color. There are websites, one of them's like sleekhair.com, and literally it has every hair color line, including Aveda, on there, where you can purchase it at a retail price to do your retouch. And I also, I don't really talk about what I'm using on my clients. You know, they may ask, and I say, I use a really wonderful high-end product from Italy, and I leave it at that. They don't need to know that I'm using a 6N Beauty Fusion and glossing them with you up to that. They don't even understand what you're doing. But I can tell you this, if they get in a budget crunch and they know you're using Artigo 6N, they're going to find it somewhere, or they're going to find a 6N. And so, I just don't really share that information with clients just in general, or discuss what I'm using or not using on their hair. Um, and I think that's just a really good way also to keep it professional. I work with a stylist, and thank God she's in another room. And she sits there and gets into these huge explanations of why she's doing this and why she's doing that. And we need to add a golden glaze because your highlights are too washed out. And it literally makes me crazy. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Where if I had that same client, I'd go, so, what don't you like about your hair? Okay, it's faded. Well, we're going to fix that. And I would take it upon myself to either low light with a warmer color or gloss them all over with a warmer color. And that's that. And, we are at the end of the day, the professional, and it really is up to us to guide and steer our clients into what's going to look the best. And, what's going to produce the best results. And sometimes I feel like you can say the word bleach and you'll have, oh God, no, I don't want bleach on my hair. And I've heard it 1,000 times when I've had clients, sit in my chair. Oh, no bleach for my highlights, no bleach for my other stylist didn't use bleach. Well, I've been doing hair for 30 years, and I'm telling you that somebody comes in with pure white highlights and they're a level 6. There's no way that it has gotten there without bleach. And I have been the rule breaker, and I've even used 130 volume and high lift tint to see what it would do. And I'm telling you, it doesn't get white, even with dryer heat for 30 minutes. So, just keep things professional. And like I said, really just try and elevate your service and, keep things moving forward so your clients don't get bored and don't start looking for another stylist, after the first of the year. And if Elisa kind of want to gets into some retail,
I do, Dustin. Thank you.
okay.
I'm going to be talking to you guys as a sales rep, and I've been selling on the wholesale side for 25 years. And before that, I owned a salon. And so I kind of look at things from both sides. And I want to tell you right now, I follow a large amount of hairdresser forums, and I'm on all of their threads, and I do answer a lot of questions. And it makes me very sad to see stylists that are asking what people are doing to generate more money, and what job should they go get as a second job, or should they get out of the business. And I honestly, again, from a salesperson standpoint, I do view many stylists that only work, and this is a status statistic that is real. Wella, back when they were owned by Procter and Gamble, did very deep dive into research on hairdressers. Hairdressers on average that are independents only work 2.3 days out of the week. Now, if you only work 2.3 days out of the week, why in the heck are you looking at going and getting a different job? Why wouldn't you just open your books up and promote yourself and get more customers? So I would love to put myself out there to help you grow yourself as a hairdresser, not to guide you to go be a secretary or scoop fries at McDonald's like Trump did. Like let's not go to McDonald's. Let's focus on what we do and do it well. With that said, a lot of what Dustin was talking about goes into the full growth of a salon, and that is, we have to remember, guys, that we're in the customer service business. We just happen to do really well at what we do on the service part, but I think we forget about the customer part of it. So in order to grow during the holidays, service is imperative. As Dustin said, pay a lot of attention to those people that are paying your bills. Now, again, we have to remember, we're in the service industry, and those people are what make you be able to drive a Mercedes or own your own home or go on those vacations. And we need to appreciate them. So I'm a big proponent into during the holidays. You were talking about the minis, Dustin. I checked with Kayla the other day, and we have quite a bit of the mini hydro shampoos and the milk sprays. I think it's close to 1,000 of each one of those. Guys, those are very economical. I think, Kaylin, weren't they like $1 a piece?
Yes, they're $1
Yeah.
a piece, but we are out of the rich serum oil samples.
Yes.
The little bottles, we're out of those though.
Yes. In Good Society, we may not have a tremendous amount, but we do have foil packets of quite a bit of the Good Society.
Correct.
Guys, we
And 3-ounce sizes of the Color Glow shampoo.
Yo, perfect. Listen, guys, this is our chance to thank our customers. Those are thank you gifts. This is the holidays. It's the end of the year. We want to let them know that we appreciate them, because when you talk to a consumer, one of the number one things that they say that they don't like. Now, the one thing they do like, what is it? Does anybody know what it is? It's the shampoo. They like the shampoo service. So that's their number one thing. It's always number one when you ask them what's their favorite thing. The one thing that they don't like is that they don't feel like a stylist appreciates them anymore. We as a stylist don't reach out to them to see why they didn't come back. You know, someone could have become ill or a family member passed. We don't reach out to them anymore. We don't communicate. We're very bad at that.
Mhm.
I believe that during the holidays with my customers, I write them holiday cards, and they're personal cards. They are written in my handwriting. They are not the same. I like to mention something about each one of them that means something to me, and thank you for their patronage. So I think that's super important. Also, during the holidays, if you can take your biggest day, which back in the day was Thursdays, that was a night that we worked later, and we pushed our books to the max on Thursdays. Try and set out, and we'll just say ciders. We just had a mimosa and bagel party at one of the salons that I call on. It was really nice, and all the stylists were participating. Put out something nice for the customers again to appreciate them for coming in during the busy holidays, because not only are you busy, they are busy as well. Now, I'm going to go to something as well as those little minis, which are great as thank you gifts. Back in the day, I was a Joyco salon. And this is in the day when K-Pack Reconstructor was the only portion of K-Pack. They have now created an entity around it. But it was the #1 reconstructor. We sold it like hotcakes. But what we did is when someone paid for a treatment service, so back in those days, late 90s, we called it a bag and heat. When someone paid for that treatment, we charged $25 at the time. Joyco K-Pack had one size and wholesale cost was $7.50. Now, we'll never see those days again. But so retail on that was $15. We charged $25 for the service. We pulled a K-Pack reconstructor off the shelf. And when we used that as the service, and when they left, we sent them out with the remaining amount of that reconstructor. That was their gift. It's a tangible item. And when you put that item into that customer's hand, they remember you when they use it again, right? How many of us remember when someone gives us something? You pick it up and you're like, oh, Annie gave me this. I love it. I love Annie. Like it's that spirit. So I think it's important that we encompass our retail, which at $25, and the retail cost of that K-Pack would have been $15, and we made $10 on the service. But what we did is we gave them something, we made our money back, and we gave them a great service, right? We used to, I was with Armstrong McCall for years. We sold the big, how many of y'all know the big conditioning balms from Biolage, from Matrix? Okay, it's like Jergens hand lotion with a little bit of good stuff in it. It's got a great smell. We would sell that for bag and heats because the cost per application was like 25 cents. And people would charge $20 for a treatment, and they would set them aside. It felt great when they left, but was it anything beyond that? No. I do think that we need to step up our game. We have Artego and Vieso have some amazing masks. Annie, Hydro Boost, is that correct?
Yep.
What's another really good Artego
Deep
mask?
repair, the deep repair mask.
Deep repair. Awesome.
In the Renaissance, we have the oxygen.
Oh, the oxygen. Yes.
Bomb.
The whole Renaissance category is phenomenal. In NVA, so of course we have the categories that have the matching masks. So I recommend if you're going to do the treatments, take your game up, charge for that treatment, send them that mask home with them as a gift. And one little thing that is very important to me is presentation when you're selling retail. I'm in Texas if you can't tell from my accent. We have a large amount of suite salons, luxury suite salons, where they have their little rooms. It looks like apartments. With that said, they're considered luxury suites until it comes to retail, because I watch customers, I'm passing them in the doorways when I'm coming in, and they're walking out with a can of hairspray in their hand or a bottle of shampoo. Um, Guys, I used to not only own a salon, I also had my own line of cosmetics, and I used to run a cosmetic company back in the early 90s. We hand wrapped in tissue, which, by the way, is very economical. We chose our little prints and everything. We hand wrapped our cosmetics, we hand wrapped our retail at the salon, and it went into a gift bag. We also put clear labels on every piece of our merchandise that said where it was from. The name of my salon was Hair Logics. The cosmetic company was Lou Ann Mancini. We put that on there with our phone number, because when someone goes to re-buy that product, they don't know where they got it. They can't remember. But if you have your salon logo on there and where they got it from, and you can also train them, I know that's a terrible word, to call you in advance and make sure they have that product when they run out of their hairspray and they know who to call. They are able to take that in a nice bag that maybe has that logo stuck on the front of it as well. It's beautiful advertising. And if anything, how many of you re-gift or use a bag that you got? If you give someone else something in that bag and it says Ann Ballantyne Salon, you're advertising for free. It's like, hey, it's networking, it's passing it on. But one last thing before I turn it back over to Dustin to do color questions. It's very important that you look at Artego's fourth quarter deals. If you do not have those, let us know, and Annie, myself, any of the sales reps, we will email you those fourth quarter deals. So they have a lot of Renaissance products and Rain Dance, buy 6, get this free. By the time you average those out, guys, you're going to have the ability to take a shampoo and conditioner and marry them together, have a great profit margin. You can sell them as sets yourself, wrap them up in clear cellophane with a bow, put them in a bag, whatever you want to do, sell them as a deal. Or incorporate them into your services at the holidays. Guys, you cannot afford to pass this up. You're going to charge, in Texas, we're sitting at an average visit at $250 and up. You can surely afford to add in where they take home a retail shampoo and conditioner and your cost was $14. Good Society is the best. It is our vegan line. It is the most top quality at the most economical price, and you've got to get that stuff in their hands. And guess what? They're going to remember that you gave them something at the holidays that made them special. And how many customers can you push in? And maybe you take only your top 20 that you do this with, and you have a bag already ready for them, ready to go, right? A little bit of a thought process for them. But just do not forget to look at the fourth quarter deals, because they are phenomenal. Jay takes a lot of time putting those together, and they mimic what we need for the holidays, which is also free back bar that allows you to give free treatments and things such as that. And if you want deals worked out, get hold of your sales rep. We'll work something out for you. Okay, Dustin, take it away.
So I just wanted to touch on something you said, because I know people are like, bags are expensive, tissue paper is expensive. Well, you can go down to the dollar store and you
Yep.
can purchase 5 bags for $1 and tissue paper for $1 to bring that cost down. You don't need to go on U-Ship or some of the other big companies to buy your bags. Because they are quite expensive if you go that route. We have them here at the salon. But, if you're on a budget, that's a great way. If you get some tissue paper and a bag from the dollar store and a few samples, that are $1 a piece even, put them in a bag with a little card, it's going to cost you, $3.50. And I think it'll go a really, really long way with your
Yeah.
customer.
Did you see me reach in my back seat, Dustin?
No.
Okay, literally, I just reached in my back seat. I have bags in my car. They're all in my trunk. When I give away samples, I do not give away samples without it being in a bag. And my business cards are down in that bag. And that's as a sales rep. So it's just as important that I treat you as my customer with great appreciation and respect our product, because I don't believe our products need to be handed out and here, presented to them, make them feel, you as a stylist feel just as important as, again, you're my customer. We have to respect our customers.
And Annie, maybe you can touch on this. Isn't there a special if you order color this month that you're getting touch products?
Yes. And the best
Okay.
way to explain it is the more it's color you buy, the more free touch products you're getting. So
Okay.
what I haven't read, the deal sheet she's talking about is the October through December. So this is good all the way through the end of the year. So with 12 tubes of color, you're getting the large size of the Hot Shots and my very favorite, Straight Rules, our #1 selling item. You get those 2 products free. If you buy 24 tubes of color, you get the Hot Shots, the Straight Rules, Curl Must, and the new Spray Wax, Starlight Wax free. If you buy 48, you get all that plus a Strong Bond and a C-Style spray. And if you buy more than 48, if you buy 48 and another, whatever 48 and 24 are, I don't do math, we will give you both sets of the products free. So the more you buy, the more free you get, which is a perfect way to sample customers.
It's a great way
As
to
well-
give them away for the holidays. Like, pass those on to the customer and to enable them to try them and give you feedback and put them in a nice bag.
Absolutely. And if you haven't tried it, snag a set for yourself.
Yes,
And,
You can recommend it to your clients.
yes.
and in
I will have to say, go ahead, Dustin.
Well, in our salon, we have quite a few lines. We carry all the Artigo products. We have Vieso, but we also have Kevin Murphy, Dobbiness, Blue, Sauce. I mean, quite a few higher end lines. And for us, because the price is so reasonable, and you're going to have to base this on your area, but because the cost is so low on the Rain Dance and the Good Society, and the products perform so well. I mean, the Good Society Color Glow is probably one of our best selling products, and it outsells Kerastase, and hands down. But I was a little nervous, like, okay, the retail on this is $14. How am I going to sell a $14 shampoo to someone that's used to paying 50 or 60? And so in our salon, we triple the price of the Artego products. So all in all, we're actually making a higher profit margin than we would be selling, the 40, 50, $60 bottles of shampoo. And because it's not available online, people can't really go on and price shop to get a better deal. And I will say, I have not had one client go, this shampoo was not worth what I paid for it. And this far, and it's probably been a year, we have not had one person bring back an Artigo product that wasn't happy and said, I use this and I really didn't like it. Can I exchange it for something else? And I know if you're a smaller independent or in a studio, it's really hard to take things back. Our policy is, as long as you're not a habitual returner, we just take it back and eat it, just because I think that's really good customer service. And people are also used to going to Ulta or some of the other big chains, and they can use half a bottle and they'll take it back. So, we're pretty good in our salon and just, eat it on those things. But like I said, we have not had anybody bring anything back that was dissatisfied with any of the Artigo or Vieso products, which is shocking because last month I took back probably 10 bottles of Kevin Murphy because of the smell, or someone's head itched, or, a laundry list of, things
Yes.
that people were not happy about after they put broken pumps. You name it, it happened. So,
Oh, I want to say
off.
one last thing before I forget, because I'm old and I forget. One of the best things, if you're looking at needing to make money, which we all are, I sold gift certificates. Now, here's the thing about gift certificates, and it is a statistical number here. We would sell gift certificates. It puts money in your hands. You need to put an expiration date on it, 6 months to a year that they have to use it within. You have to have a log. You have to be very organized. But it is a great way to make money. And it is statistically shown that
They don't use it.
less than 50% of the people ever use that gift certificate. So it is not a ripoff. It is just a fact that it's once you sell it to them, it's up to them to come back and redeem it. They lose it, they can't remember, they don't like the salon, they don't want to, they've got a favorite stylist, whatever it is. Sell gift certificates, guys.
Mhm.
Sell them, because we forget about that. Go ahead, Annie.
I was thinking of something that Dustin referred to about pricing Artigo. We call it the fair market value. And this came from one of my wonderful, who no longer is in business, Jay Christian, customers up in Delaware. Because he sold other things before he got Artigo into his salon. And because we're selling direct to the salons and eliminating the distributor markup, there is more profit in it. So if you take an $8 product, normally we would import it in the United States, sell it to a distributor for $8. He'd sell it to the salon for $16. The salon would retail it for $32. But this way, we eliminate the distributors so the salon can sell it for the 32 and make a much larger profit with Artigo than with others. And if that's too, I always tell people, if you're in a community where that's a little bit too high, then sell it for 20 to 25, and you're still making much more profit than you ever would with anything else.
Yeah.
Because of the way we import and sell direct.
And I'll have to say too, I have heard, I've personally sampled friends of mine and salons here in town, oh my gosh, it's so inexpensive. It must be cheap. And I'll have to say, we're the only country in the world where it's this inexpensive. In Canada, the color is, $14.95, I believe now, because they do sell through a distributorship.
Right.
And, I'll have to say, I mean, a lot of you don't know this, but on the other end of it, Elisa and I have had insight to like manufacturing costs, and Joico is able to manufacture a tube of color with a cap and a box for around 64 cents. Everyone's paying $10, I think, at this point for a tube of color. And, so the fact that it's $8.95 shouldn't sway anybody into the quality of the product. It's literally you're buying direct from,
Right.
the manufacturer distributor as opposed to a Cosmoprof or,
And this spring, I got to go to Rome. The Beecher Group sent me to train with Artego. It is a beautiful facility. They do manufacture their own product. I got to see it coming right off the line. And it is something to be said when you're dealing with a small company that takes pride, because the Artego Group takes a lot of pride in what they make. So when you're passing that retail on to the consumer, you have to know that they are getting a extremely quality product that somebody put a lot of thought into. And by the time you multiply your product cost by 2.5 to 3 times, that also makes it even nicer when someone says, "Oh, look what Annie gave me." It's the value on this is $50, and really you had, maybe $6.95 times 2, $14 invested in it. Again, that's on full sizes. But don't pass up the deals. Don't pass up the minis. You have to grab them fast. We're also coming into the holidays like ASAP. So don't wait to order those because they will go. And because we're direct importers, our stuff comes out over on a boat. It takes like 90 days for a shipment
A
to come
very
in from
slow
Italy.
boat.
The slow boat from Italy, yes. And so when we run out of things, we're out for a while. So don't pass up getting those because someone else will swoop in and take them.
Okay, so a couple of quick things and then we'll get into color questions before we run out of time. Somebody asked if the specials are automatically applied to online ordering. I am
Oh,
not sure about that. Annie, you would have to answer that. I would,
Halen would be better than me, but I would say always in the comment section to put in there, send me the freebies.
Yeah.
When the orders come in online, we do definitely count up the colors and we do automatically apply those. So that's never a problem, but also it does help, you know, to remind us to look for like the other deals for like the shampoos and stuff, because we're really focused on the color, but we do apply all those deals during the online ordering.
Yeah. I mean, I personally like to have a one-on-one conversation because I'm old school with my sales rep. I know a lot of people don't want to talk on the phone, but
I wish you were my customer then, because my God, I leave messages everywhere.
He's my customer and we talk every day.
um, the other thing I was going to say really quick is Instagram, you know, for building up your business. I think it's very important that everyone is active on social media. And a few quick things, you know, I see people tag stuff like manufacturers and, you know, highlights and balayage and so on and so forth. And that's great when you're dealing with trying to find a very public, large market across the world for people to start following you. But I think that it's very important that when you're a hairdresser in a town, that no matter what, you tag, you know, like I'm in Bend, Oregon. So I always tag Pacific Northwest, Bend, Oregon, Bend Life, Central Oregon, you know, all the hashtags that are used in my area. So people in general, you know, that aren't even hair related. And I do tag like Central Oregon hairdresser, which is a big one here, but I make sure that I tag all the local big tags. So it pops up when people are looking for things to do in Central Oregon. They may be looking for a restaurant and, you know, scrolling through that hashtag and they'll see a before and after. I cannot tell you, I've gotten more clients that way than, you know, hashtagging baby lights or any of that other stuff. I mean, I have a ton of followers, and that's how I've gotten like a bigger audience of hairdressers, etc. But when it comes to actual physical customers in your chair, you can hashtag modern salon and BTC all day long. It is not going to bring a customer into your chair. So I think that's really important. Also, the thing that I see people do that's really, really, really wrong on social media is they'll put the before, first of all, take really good pictures. I always take 3 or 4. I personally like natural light and not a ring light. I feel like ring lights wash out the color on top of it. I kind of want people to see a more realistic,
Yes.
you know, thing. And you guys can go on my Instagram, it's Dustin McFarland, and look. But I like my clients to really see a realistic of what a color is going to look like. I mean, you can have urine yellow hair and put a ring light on it and photograph it, and it's going to look like paper sheet white. And everybody always brings in this, I want my hair this white. Well, guess what? It's not going to happen and stay on your head. But that's a whole nother subject. But I think it's really important that you do take realistic before and afters and do not post your before pictures first. You know, when you go into your Instagram and you're doing multiple photographs, make sure that you're posting the after first. And then when
Yes.
people scroll over, they see the before. Because a lot of times, I mean, even myself, when I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see this horrible hair, I just keep on scrolling because I don't even care what it's going to look like afterwards. And I think it has a much bigger impact on people when they see this beautiful hair and then they slide that picture over and see what a trash disaster it was before. And they're like, wow, this person's really good. where a lot of times if that before picture is the first one, they're like, oh, nobody's going to ever be able to make this horrible, hideous mess look good. And they just keep on scrolling. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Do we have any questions on pertaining to any of the retail that we covered? I knew there was a lot of questions that were popping up at one point.
I'm just scrolling back through. I don't see any.
I didn't
think-
see any.
I saw someone mention, how do you decide who receives a gift? Like I said, the top 20, it's a dollar and cents thing, because you don't always have old customers that have been with you for 20 years that spend a lot of money with you. Those people need an appreciative gift, such as the minis, maybe foil packets, you know, wrap up a cookie, whatever it might be. But your people that are spending a lot of money, guys, when I was young, I had my hair done. I'd take my mother's Neiman Marcus card and I'd have my hair done at Neiman Marcus because that was important to me at 18 years old. But I didn't have as they say in Texas, a pot to piss in. So don't ever, your people that are spending money have chosen to spend that money with you. They may not have anything, but they are deserving of those full size because they're your bread and butter, the people that are spending. You want them to spend for the retail. The people that are hanging on by a thread, we appreciate them, but they may not be your retail people. So it is a dollar and cents on choosing maybe your top 20 that would get the full size little gifts in a bag.
Okay, I'm gonna let people unmute if they have direct questions about color. And we can answer those.
Can Kaylin unmute them?
I think they can unmute themselves. If they can't, just put it in the chat box so we can get some answers. Robert, do you have any color questions? I know you said you did.
Yes, I did. Thanks for bringing it to my attention. I am trying to log into my laptop to create some notes from, first of all, from some of the products that I'm unfamiliar with so that I can have a closer look at them after class or this.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Robert,
Yes.
get with your sales rep or online in the comments if you order and ask for an Artego product guide. It's fabulous. Every page gives ingredients, what the scents are. It's very informative on the product lines.
And
I
then
think
we
I
have
went-
the separate books, Robert, too, on Touch, Good Society, and Rain Dance.
Yes.
Okay, whatever. I went to the Beth's class in Annapolis, and there was a lot of information that I haven't had a chance to go through. I think some of those things are referenced in there, but I think what intrigues me is if you're narrowing it down to a couple of masks that would be useful, I'd like to start there first. So I'm just trying to find a place to put those down, or if anyone can just type a few.
Yeah, so my personal favorites are the VA masks. There's 3 of them, and you can add the essence boosters into them. You will have to talk to Elisa about those separate from your regular rep. With
Okay.
Elisa, Robert, you can text me and I can send you Elisa's contact. Those are really good for more of like a luxury, higher end service. Also, Rain Dance has 2 masks, the Hydra Boost, and then there's a restorative mask. They're both awesome. We have all of them on the back bar. I feel like if I'm doing a 5-minute mask at the bowl, I'll use the Rain Dance and just let it sit at room temperature. Whereas if I'm doing more of like a luxury treatment add-on, I'll use the VA and add in the essences and, do a really nice, beautiful shampoo and then put them under a steamer or dryer for 20 minutes and all of that. So, I mean, it kind of, and there's no reason why with the Artego mask, you could not do the same,
100%.
And
Like-
with Rain Dance, did you have hydrogen and what was the other one?
a Hydra Boost.
Hydra Boost and then Deep
Hydro-
Repair.
Yeah.
So I
Boots.
boost, like when I go to Florida for the winter, Robert, I eat that stuff. My hair just sucks it all in from the sun, and I came home with great hair because I used it all the time. And then the deep repair for hair that's, over processed, bleached, been
Okay.
highlighted forever, gray. Yeah, it's awesome too.
Got it. And then another question about color to Dustin. Interestingly enough, I was looking for answers to how to formulate some of the letters that I have on, let's say, converting from Shades EQ to Beauty Fusion. And one of the things I realized is that the color gels have the numbers that correspond to the same numbers in the
It's
Beauty Fusion line and its color as well. So that kind of put me on a, go ahead.
Okay, I will tell you, working for L'Oreal, there's a couple of the numbers that are a little different.
Good.
The 0.8 in Artigo across the board and its color, or Beauty Fusion is green. It is the matte series in Artigo, and in any of the L'Oreal products, color gels, Majorelle, Anoa, any of that, they're pointed as mocha. So you're going to get a very different result. Clearly, if you just go straight 0.8 conversion across the board, but I do believe that going through my mind, 0.1, yeah. I believe that pretty much all of them are going to be the same, although in Redken, the 0.1 is a pure blue base, and you're going to have to look at the color wheel because the ashes in Artigo are calibrated. So depending on the line, whether it's Beauty Fusion or its color, they may tilt in the darker levels towards more blue-green and a little more blue-violet as you get further up. And the Beauty Fusion are probably slightly a little bit cooler just in general and finish, and for a couple of reasons. Primarily, the heavier pigment dialogue, so they're going to show up and read a little bit deeper than its color. And I do believe that they're a little bit cooler on the color wheel. But yeah, like the 0.5s, 0.4, 0.6, all of that is, right on 0.2.
Let's see, there was one other thought that I had about the bases and the impact on the depth of the color. Would you recommend using perhaps a lighter shade or clear first if you're just starting out with the Beauty Fusion?
Personally, if I'm doing permanent, I would go with a lighter shade. That's just my personal preference, as opposed to adding in clear, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with adding in clear. I just feel like clear is not, depending on your level, is not as accurate. Meaning, like, if you have a 5-0 and you add in, 15 grams or half an ounce of clear to 45 grams or an ounce and a half of 5-0, it's going to be a much different shearing out of the pigment, as opposed to if you did an 8-0 in the same formula, adding in, that 15 grams or half an ounce of clear. So for me, just for the more control, I would probably go like 5-0 and then half 6-0. Just because I feel like it's accurate and calibrated throughout the whole level system. Because I've had some funky things happen with adding in clear with a permanent, Like I said, I feel like in those lighter levels, it shears it out too much. And in the darker levels, I sometimes feel like it doesn't really do enough.
Because the pigments at that lower level are so
Yes, or
stuck.
so. and so dense.
Yes.
Thank you.
I do see that Kayla recommended some products that she wanted to know. So I'm just gonna quickly show a few. Our big sellers are Good Society Color Glow Shampoo and Conditioner. Also, the Rain Dance Hydra Shampoo and Conditioner, big sellers. The Color Shampoo and Conditioner. Also big sellers. Actually, all the shampoos in Rain Dance, there's 4 of them, all great sellers. I do feel like we sell a little bit more of the Good Society, and that's because some of our junior stylists are really big retail pushers and they have a lot of younger clients. And the Good Society fits a little bit more into their budget than some of the higher end lines. You know, even Rain Dance, we price at a little bit higher price point. But I'll be honest,
Well,
this is
and
probably my
let's
favorite.
be honest, you're in granola eating territory. So Good Society also fits that vegan
Yeah,
selling point. And Rain Dance is more, has what, Annie, one naturally derived ingredient in each one
No,
of them?
no, it's organic.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
it's organic. The one
okay.
ingredient, the touch line has
Yeah.
each item, each styling product has one main ingredient in
Got
it.
it, got it. Perfect.
Okay, so the next, this is probably one of my favorite products in Touch. It's the Beauty Primer. I don't know if we can see this up here. It's kind of like a one-stop shop for me. It's the product that I put on everyone. You can use it as a cutting lotion. They come back from the bowl. I'll detangle them. I usually use the hydrating milk from Rain Dance, a few squirts of that. I personally squirt it directly into the palm of my hand and then onto the head. That's just how I do it. You can spray it all over the place. Our floors get very slick for whatever reason with product. So I spray it on my hand and then onto their head. But then I'll use about the size of a quarter for like long hair beauty primer. And I've noticed not only is it a thermal protectant, really helps to smooth the hair down, and it also noticeably speeds up my blow dry time. And it gives just the smallest amount of hold and anti-humidity. This is just, you know, what I've noticed if you're gonna use hot tools afterwards. These are 2 really great products, and I actually didn't grab the other one. The hydrating milk, probably our go-to leave-in conditioner, and the thermoactive repair spray is absolutely amazing for those super, super highly processed bleached clients because it has reparative reconstructing properties in it, along with like thermal protectants. So I would go to this as opposed to the hydrating milk on my bleached clients. They love it. It really does help, you know, repair their hair, especially with all the heat everybody uses these days. We have so many products that I love. The Flex Mousse is another one of our big sellers. It comes out, I wonder if I can grab one that's open. It comes out and it's just a pump. It comes out as like a really light foam. It doesn't have a ton of hold in the aspect of like sticky hold, but it does give like a lot of memory and it's a really light product. It's pretty weightless. But it
Which
does
is
have
great when people ask for a mousse, but when we're not talking about an old-timey traditional mousse. So that
It's on the
puts
phone.
you in the technology of a more modern foam.
And then our other big one is the Rich Serum.
Oh,
I feel like everybody needs like an oil product, you know, in their repertoire at the salon. And I like the Rich Serum. Like I said, we have numerous other ones. People always comment on the smell. I feel like it's really lightweight. It doesn't get greasy and oily. I mean, sure, if you put 10 pumps in and saturate someone's scalp, they're probably not going to be the happiest with any oil product, but I do feel like it absorbs into the hair. So those are probably my favorite kind of go-to products. Also the dry shampoo from the Touch line. I love it. I spray it in after I'm done curling someone to kind of give like that beachy look. And I also feel like using it immediately after styling has kind of a dual benefit. It works kind of like a texture spray, and it also prevents oil because there's something on their head already to immediately start absorbing that oil. Where I feel like if you kind of wait till you're oily, you're not going to get the greatest benefit from it. So I think it looks like everybody's kind of running and getting off of here. I think that's pretty much it. And then the office has our numbers if anybody needs to text for any other color questions that we didn't answer. I'm pretty good about answering, I mean, as quick as I can. Anyway, good to see everybody, and
Yes.
everyone
you.
have a good day.
Yes, take care.
Thank you, everyone. Have great
Thank you.
holidays.
Bye.